Maybe I'll try this one.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back with another edition, rendition, new edition. City Boyz is in the building.
In the building.
In the freaking building.
I'm your host with the most, Pastor Mac, Bull City.
DJ Tito, High Easy.
Brandon Pierre, Greensboro, North Carolina.
And this is Dr. Shaw, and today's episode is sponsored by Gold and Diamond Center on the second floor of the Four Seasons Mall in Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's what's up. I like that. I like that.
What is Gold and Diamond Center?
I'm gonna let Tim tell you.
Okay, we'll get to our guest in a second. But how y'all been, man?
Cooling, man.
Hey, it's
Cooling.
I've been on the run. The federal volleys are after me. They are hunting me down. I'm telling you, and
Who is the federalists?
man, I'm telling you, man, they out there. I'm telling you, they out there. It's like hussies, man. They own me, man. I'm for real. Like, can you do this event, that event, that event? I'm loving y'all. Keep booking me. Keep doing it.
I told you this was a prima donna.
Hey, I'm
Right?
telling you, man. I'm serious, bro. I'm telling you, I did like 4 events last weekend. 4, bro. And all of them, we crushing. I'm on the gas. No break. Yeah.
Hey, on the ones that you
Oh, man.
Killing them. No matter how we play it. Hey, man, I just did an event for Miss North Carolina. Miss North Carolina. And it was off the freaking chain.
Yeah, that's
There
all
were
right.
so many chicks out there. I mean, now they were ladies, so I won't argue.
Oh my God.
They was not.
But they was out there.
They was out there though. But do you know all the little chicks went on my Instagram and started following me, bro?
Please.
All of them.
That's love.
That's love, man. Hey,
Sound like God been good to you.
hey, man. God is trying to tell me something.
Pierre, what you been up to, man?
Man, it's the third quarter, man. And it's time to lock in.
Time to lock in.
Definitely want to get some new music out this third quarter. That'll be the launch pad into what we trying to do next year for sure.
Okay. So,
We just ramping up for the 10th annual back to school rally. We're trying to give 1,000 kids free book bags and school supplies and send them back to school inspired and prepared and ready to learn.
yeah, that's
sir.
cool, man. Listen, make sure y'all tap in with everybody.
City Boyz definitely showing up for that event. I definitely want to say that.
The
appreciate
it. I'm
Instagram
gonna be
is
out there.
posted. We're gonna post information about back to school rally. We using this platform for our stuff too. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
the beauty of it. We're creating the stage, we're creating the audience, so we're gonna benefit off of it.
For sure.
Man, our last episode was pretty juicy, wasn't it?
Oh
Juicy
my
wasn't
God.
the word. Juicy was not the word, bro. I
Crazy.
really wasn't ready for that. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, right?
Hey, but you know
And I
what?
looked back at it. I looked at it last night.
How'd you feel?
Huh?
How'd you feel about
Bro,
it?
I was looking at me, right? And I was looking at my demeanor, right? And, I don't understand how I was able to hold that.
I think we was all pleasantly caught off guard, if you will, because again, I'm no homophobe or anything, but I just think that them not telling us what was going on created the most organic. Because when Max said it, I'm like, all right, that I'm always looking for a monkey wrench because I never know what we're talking about. And when he threw it, I'm like, there it is. And I didn't know what it was going to be, but I think it made for good conversation.
It did.
Yeah, it was good, man. It's funny, man. My wife, she watched the whole thing. Like she was glued in, bro. I'm like, why you so glued in? Like, what you think? All of us about to come out? Like, what you?
Surely not.
What you think?
Surely not.
Nah, he out. That nigga out.
Surely not.
We got nothing to do with that.
Uh,
So, but nah, it was cool, man. I think that's something for our audience. Like you guys do not know, but shout out to our executive producer, man, Dr. Shaw, man, killing the game.
Appreciate that.
The content, the whole presentation, he has just taken this thing to a whole nother level. So we we salute you, brother, for the work you're doing. Tonight's guest, we're honored to welcome a powerful and inspiring guest by the name of Tim Street. Tim Street.
Welcome, brother.
Tim's story is one of redemption, resilience, and transformation. Tim served 13 years in federal prison for possession of 70 kilos of cocaine. 13 years is actually like a low number for that much.
Yeah.
That much pushing. Before his incarceration, he was a prominent rapper known as God Supreme in the early 90s. During that era, he collaborated with legendary artists like Mobb Deep and Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Moves everything around. Cream get the money. It came out, man.
It just came out.
It did.
It's in you.
It's in me, bro.
It's on you too.
And it's on me, man.
Thank you.
He collaborated with them, making a significant mark in the hip hop scene. While behind bars, Tim experienced a profound change. He gave his life to Christ. Now he's dedicated himself to preaching the gospel and working tirelessly to advocate for prison reform. His journey from street life and incarceration to faith and activism embodies the essence of redemption and hope. So tonight we're going to kind of dive into Tim's story, his struggles, his rise, his faith, and his ongoing mission to make a positive impact. I will say this: City Boyz has become a safe space for men
Yes.
to share their truths, starting with us. So what we're doing now is we're opening up, basically our couch, our space, our lounge. Shout out to Sutherland Cigar Lounge, where we host this gathering of men. But it allows us to share our truths, navigate our ups and downs, and explore what redemption really means, especially as black men navigating in this complex world. So I will say I appreciate you guys for the space that we have. So without further ado, let's welcome Tim to the show, man.
Yeah.
Tim, where you from, man? Talk to us.
I'm from Green Level, North Carolina.
Green Level, down by Burlington.
Yep. Charles Drew, if you know anything about Charles Drew, he died about 500 feet from my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the blood plasma transfusion.
Wow.
So that's just some black history for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm from Green Level, man, born and raised. I lived in several other states, New York, Washington, D.C., and Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. So how did you get into the life of crime, so to speak?
Life of crime. Well, the life of crime came, I can't say naturally, but me selling stuff naturally. I used to move a lot of donuts for the church when they was having fundraisers. So they would see me like 100, 150 dozen donuts, and I would move them. Then as I started to elevate, the stuff. You remember the Hill Shop Farm boxes we used to sell for school, like Christmas time? I was selling that stuff too. But as I started to grow, I would see guys in the neighborhood start buying these cars and stuff. And I said, how are they buying cars? Yeah. They'd be like, they sell crack. Yeah. So I don't understand how they making enough money to buy a car. So, I was raised in a good home, man. My mom was actually in law enforcement. My father, he was working for like Duke Power. My stepfather actually. But as I started to grow, I just started to start give me a little pack. You know what I'm saying? Start giving me something called a 16th in the crack world. Start cutting it up instead of 20. But I was like, nah, this ain't enough. I always be buying cars because So after that, I just started getting little packs. I was working a job and I quit my job and I started selling crack. And then I ended up getting locked up around 1993. I ended up getting incarcerated for like 3 months. And then as I went in prison for like 3 months at Polk Youth Center the year of the riot. So doing then, that's when I started really studying the doctrine of the 5%ers, because I was a 5%er. You know, a 5%er, the doctrines of the 5%er, they teach that the black man is God. And they deal with a lot of knowledge. It's almost like a black Scientology, but you had the groups back then, Brand Nubian, and D. Shaw probably said Mobb Deep, but I was already dialoguing with Brand Nubian back then, and Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs, and people like that they was bringing down to that region in Burlington and stuff, these guys from Detroit. But as I started to build on that doctrine, they started calling me God Supreme. That's the name they gave me. So I came back out of prison, and I just kept on, you know, with a life of crime, selling crack, doing drugs, smoking weed, smoking woo, stuff like that. But then there was a point in my life to where I said, hold up now. It's either I'm a grow in this drug game, or either I'm gonna be a flunky. Because you know what I'm saying, you got people on the block, they flunkies. You know, they mixing weed with crack, stuff like that. So after that, I moved to Greensboro, and after I moved to Greensboro, I basically took over. I moved in with some other guys that were selling a whole lot of pounds of weed. They already had the platform established. All I had to do, we was doing the rap stuff. We started forming a company, and that's when I really just blew up in Greensboro. I really took over Greensboro because a lot of the people that was involved in the rap music was also in the game. And so after that, I just really blew up in Greensboro and took over as far as the weed. But then as I started to I had some associates that, you know, I started to deal with back towards Burlington area. That's when the Mexicans had really started moving to like Alamance County, where I'm from. And I had a good relationship with the Mexicans. And I remember like I would go down there with the Mexicans, and they didn't know no prices or nothing. I was like, look, man, I want to get a couple of pounds of weed. And they would have these trash bags in this trailer. I used to go to a trailer park near my house, and they would dig in the trash bag and just put weed in the bag. And they was like, how much you want? They were like, just give me $75. I'm like, $75 for this? See, they didn't know the prices when they first came. The blacks taught them the prices. And so when I started going back down there, then they came up with this number. Only thing they would say was $7.50. They say how you go from, hold up, man, I just paid you like $14. Now you $7.50, you know what I'm saying? But as I started selling the weed, man, I just started to elevate, and then the Mexicans was like, you don't know how to sell the kilos of cocaine? I ain't know how to sell no brick, man. I'm saying I'm the weed man. A brick, what? Right. And then you got them, they trying to get me to sell heroin and stuff like that. I said, no, I sell weed. And so I remember when he brought a brick over there. The first time he brought a brick to me, and I looked at it and I said, man, I don't really know what to do with this. But then I start telling people, you know what I'm saying, within like my inner circle, like, look, y'all know I can get the bricks. And so after that, you know, I'm full-fledged now. Listen, I got to stay on track because I'm full-fledged in the rap game too now. Like my nobody knew what I was doing. Let me establish that. You know what I'm saying? All my stuff is secret. I didn't even fool myself. You know, you can deceive yourself now. I didn't even fool myself now. I'm running this. We done established a legal rap company. Now I got everybody coming from New York. I got Mobb Deep. I got everybody coming to the crib. Everybody coming to the spot. I got a spot like right by the projects in Greensboro. So everybody's coming over there. We got the Wu-Tang buses out there. We got the tour buses, Cormega in the crib, me, Akinelli, all us. I was bringing Akinelli out here to High Point. We was recording. Yeah. I was bringing Akinelli with me down here in Mobb Deep to High Point. We was recording in Chi-Town studio. This dude named Chi-Town that was from out here. We was recording this his studio on Green Street. So we used to come down here recording his studio. So all the while I'm still hustling. So it's just like, and when I was dealing with the dudes from Greensboro, but when I went back home, I met the dude that me and him was like best friends, but he had got deported, but he had came back. So I thought he came back. I blew up like nitro. So when I started just selling bricks, you know what I'm saying? It was different. Like I got the coat. I still got the regular weed. We call it regular weed. But then I tapped in with these white dudes out of by Duke University, and they had the loud. See, that stuff they smoking today, we started that really back in like the early 2000s. That stuff, how everybody was saying they smoking the loud and all that. We had the loud. And so I got like 3 drugs, and then come along ecstasy. Mm-hmm. So I got 4. You got to understand, it's 4 different operations. It's like having 4 different businesses. Yep. So I'm still on tour. We started doing a tour with Wu-Tang, really enticed. She the really one that really put me on Wu-Tang because I was already recording with Tweet, doing these Source mixtapes, and that's how I met Mobb Deep. And so after I met them, it's like, yo, we homies. I go to New York, I sleep in the projects at they crib. I go to Long Island, I sleep in Prodigy and Havoc, them house they had in Long Island. So we already clicked up. So anytime they come to North Carolina, they coming down, we kicking it. Anytime Cormega coming down, we kicking it. I got all the gangsters coming down. We all getting money. So people coming from New York, I'm putting them on in the area. So now I established a relationship because now I'm walking in Queensbridge in the projects with just me with my jury on. I remember when I came up one day, the dude was like, little Eric, then they was like, yo, Preem, you know you the only person we let walk around here with your jury on. I said, look, y'all don't let me do nothing, you know what I'm saying? I was in the street too. So as I started to grow in the drug game, I remember before in about 2003, this around 2003 because I want to go forward. I got the largest amount of kilograms of cocaine I ever got. The Mexicans brought me 23 keys. And it took me about a week to move that, but it was raw cocaine. I'm going to try to focus on the good stuff, but it was raw cocaine. And I remember my cousin called me. He said, man, do you understand what you got? I said, what you mean what I got? The cocaine was like a pinkish color. He said, we ain't even putting no heat on it, and it's cooking up. They was just putting like warm water on it. It was cooking up. It's like raw cocaine from Colombia. And so after that, I started dealing with some dudes out of Virginia, out of Portsmouth. And then one day when I came back, we had a recording studio. He used to come there. I had a recording studio in Greensboro. And one day I came back there. I'm skipping a lot of the story. They come and bombard the studio from like every angle. It was like the ATF, the regular police, the narcotics and all that. So I had some guns in there. They was my guns. But I had got that felon in 1993. I told y'all when I went in. So the guns wasn't on me. So the North Carolina statute said that a felon could possess a firearm in his home or place of business, but under federal law, I was guilty, but they let me out. So they let me out, and when they let me out, I had already moved the drugs and stuff to these girls' houses. So they gave me time to rekindle everything. So I remember I was out there, and the FBI was still riding around and all that stuff. So I ended up getting locked up. I went in for 27 months. So I went in for 27 months now. You got to understand this now. While I'm in prison now, I'm still calling myself God. This is where the story really gets interesting. I'm in prison. And so while I'm in prison, you got these two, I'm at a camp. They sent me to the camp first in West Virginia. You got these two little dudes, one from Greensboro named Marcus and this other thin dude from Ohio. And they keep coming and trying to talk to me about the Bible. Like, man, hey, Brother Street, you want to go watch some movies? Man, I ain't y'all brother. They Christians. I'm not no Christian. I'm God. You know what I'm saying? I'm God in my mind. I'm God. So, Brother Street, you want to watch some movies? Nah, man, I ain't going with y'all. But I remember one day they came in. I remember my mama was writing me letters too. I don't want to skip this, and I'm going to get back on point. My mama was writing me letters talking to me about Jesus. She was like, look, son, you really need to, pray to the Lord and commit your life to the Lord and all this. I'll write her back cussing out. I don't want to hear nothing about no Jesus. I'm God. That's what I told her. But you had these two dudes, and they was very persistent. They were zealous for Jesus. And as they would come and talk to me, they would say, Brother Street, we want you to come and watch some DVDs with us. And I was like, what kind of DVDs y'all got? Y'all got y'all got New Jack City, y'all got Scarface, y'all got I'm naming all these hood, Juice and South Central LA, that movie Boys in the Hood. They were like, no, man, we got some Christian DVDs. I said, no, man, I'm going to play poker. But I remember one day they came and they said, look, Brother Street, you want to go watch some DVDs? And I don't know why I said it, but I said, yeah, let's go. And when I went over there, it was across from the unit where we was housed at, and there was one unit, a single unit, and we was in there. It was a little DVD, a little VCR player, and a little TV, and they pressed it on. And I didn't know who the preacher was, but I remember when the preacher started preaching, he says, now I'm sitting in the back, they sitting in the front, but I remember when he said something, he said, the way that you living, you know is not right, or you need to change, and I start crying immediately. I start crying immediately. But I come to know today to know that preachers being Bishop T.D. Jakes. And as I started crying, right, I was wiping my eyes, and they turned around, and I tried to hide from them that I was crying, and they looked back, they said, this is a good one, ain't it? But after they called me and they asked me to come and watch some more DVDs, I said, no, man, I don't want to see no more of them DVDs. So you got to understand, after that, I ended up getting in a fight on the camp. I incited a riot, so they moved me to the medium. You're supposed to go from the camp to the low, but now I'm from the camp to the medium. But when I got to the medium, it was like I was home. I seen all the hustlers that had been locked up that I knew from D.C., Virginia, Oakland, California. Everybody like, Preem, they welcome me open arms. So it felt like I was home because I knew I didn't belong at that camp. You got to understand, the camp is for people trying to change. Yeah. I was on vacation. I'm going back to get the next load. You understand what I'm saying? The camp is for people trying to change it. They got no fence.
But that ain't where I was supposed to be. So I know now I'm right at home. Joker's getting stabbed. You hear me? They going to the hole. I went to the hole like 3 times over there. The hole is a segregated housing unit where people is in the hole. Either they can't walk the compound because they snitched, they cooperated with the government, or either they in segregation because somebody trying to kill them. But contrary to what people say about the hole, there was people on the compound, walking the compound, that had cooperated with the United States government. So when I get over there, I was up to 5%. None of the guards, I just want to call them guards for a minute. None of the guards was meeting. So as soon as I got on the compound, I said, "Where the guard bodies at?" They ain't meeting. The guard bodies meet. They usually have something called a cipher. It usually be 50 to 100 of us on the yard. So I seen some of them was with the Nation of Islam. Some of them was with the Crips. As soon as I get there, we can ready to formulate. Look, you can't be no Crip and be a 5%er. You got to come over here with us. You can't be no blood and be a 5%er. You got to come. So we start having ciphers. I came over there and I organized it. And we start having ciphers. And so as we start having ciphers and stuff like that, I end up getting into some more stuff over there too. But it was almost time for me to go home. They wanted to unalive people. But I said, no, I'm about to go home. Y'all got to deal with this. I don't want y'all to have no trouble. I'm about to go home. So I get out of federal prison. So as soon as I get to the halfway house, it was about, I had 45 days in the halfway house. Shoot, man, I ain't know nothing about no reentry or resources or food stamps or nothing available to me. My mind is on getting some money. I come out of prison. I'm like, shoot, I ain't got no money. I done spent it up gambling while I was in prison. I made a little money, but that money been gone. Excuse me. I go see the Mexicans. Let me tell you what I did. I went and stole a license plate off a car because I had the Acura, I had a BMW, I had 2 vans, but I ain't had no insurance and no money and no license. So I went and stole a license plate off a car and I put it on my red BMW 325i. I put my paperwork, which is called a PSI, that showed that I didn't cooperate with the United States government, and I strapped it in like a baby in a car seat, and off to see Chico I went. I went to see Chico. When I came to Chico's store, his wife saw me. She said, "Hi, Primo," because they call me Primo Gonzalez, because they said I move fast like Speedy Gonzalez, and they said they never seen anybody move kilos as fast as me. So my name was Supreme. They took the S and the U off the beginning, the E off the end, and they added Primo and called me Primo Gonzalez because they said I move fast like Speedy Gonzalez. When I walked in the restaurant, when I walked in the store, his wife seen me and she was shocked. She said, "Hi, Primo." And she pointed right there. And like behind them 2 doors, it was Chico. He was in a walk-in cooler. He had a deer that was dead on the floor that they was about to skin, but he had cocaine sitting on there. He was doing cocaine in the daytime. See, I done cocaine myself, but never in the daytime. The daytime was making money and doing business. No drinking and no cocaine in the daytime. It was about business. So I said, "Chico, what's up? I ain't got no money." He said, "Primo, I don't got nothing right now." But he say, "I call you," in broken English, because he's speaking. This is a good story, ain't it? Yeah. He said, "I call you in a couple of days." I'm gonna keep it short though. But he said, Abel Alvarez, him doing good right now. Him had 2 stores. So off to go see Alvarez. And Chico was my main cocaine connect when Toro got locked up, but because Toro went to jail, I couldn't find him when I was coming home. I forgot that part. I couldn't find Toro. Me and Toro was. But I couldn't find Toro. So I have to go see Alvarez. I went, but Chico was my main cocaine supply before Alvarez, because Alvarez was his nephew. So I met Chico through Alvarez, but I stopped dealing with Alvarez because Chico had cheaper prices. He backdoored Alvarez. But I go see Alvarez. And I pull up at Alvarez store and I get out the car. And when I get out the car, what's up, Gab? We're gonna talk about my conversion in a minute. But when I get out the car, Alvarez's son Emilio see me and he say, Uncle Primo. And he run up to me and I grab him and I pull him up, and I swear that boy had gained 25 pounds in the 27 months I've been locked up. And he said, Uncle Primo, where you been? I said, don't worry about that. I'm home now. Where your daddy at? And he pointed to the store, and I walked in there and I said, Alvarez, what's up? He said, Primo, welcome home. You know you good with family. I laid the PSI down on the table. He said, I don't need to see that. You good with me and family. And I said, Alvarez, I ain't got no money, man. I need some money. And Alvarez said, don't know how nothing right now, Primo. I'm not in the game. So I turned around and I walked out the store. But as I was exiting the store, I turned around and said, hey, yo, Alvarez. He said, yes, Primo. I said, you remember the time the Mexicans came from Mexico and they came to your house, your mobile home, and they was threatening you, your wife, and Emilio? And I said, you remember I came down there with some blacks and I got everything straight. And I walked out and I closed the door right before I was about to get in my red BMW, my 325i, Gav. He said, Primo. I said, what's up? He said, I call you in 2 days. So I went back. Alvarez called me in 2 days, and he gave me 3 kilos of cocaine, and I was back on. But it wasn't really no money in it because I had the other people in place because I was in the halfway house, which I wasn't on federal probation yet, but I need in-between people. You understand this? I'm about to operate this thing by not being hands-on. So we got the 3 bricks, and I had weaponized 2 other guys from Queensbridge I had down. And so I got the 3 bricks. So about a month later, I was working at Alexander Devereaux's. A lot of the stuff in my book, I got a book coming out called Church from the Feds. I was working at Alexander Devereaux's, and I get a phone call, and Chico said, hey, Primo. I said, what's up, Chico? He said, come see me today. And he called me. But I'm over there working, man. I hated working, man. I'm telling you, I hated working. Yeah, I don't mind working, but I hated people seeing me. To me, in my mind, working a regular job was a vulnerable position because I was a boss. You understand what I'm saying? I was a boss. So working this job, man, it was eating up my flesh. Gav would come up there. I would see Gav, and I would see Erica and all these other people, and they would actually see me doing work. I don't do work. I call shots at that point. So working was really itching at me, and I seen this dude that I had a bike rally with. He still owed me $25,000, so I went to prison. He said, look, he know what I'm talking about. He said, listen, man, it's good to see you working. Working builds character, but in my mind, I'm saying, if you pay me my money, that will build my character more. But I get a phone call after Chico. A couple of hours later, we end in the soul food buffet we used to do on Friday in the midday. And I get a phone call, and it's my man Tyler. And Tyler said, Tim, man, what's up? I said, what's up, Tyler? I had a prepaid phone call, Malik, a prepaid AT&T phone Malik had got me when I first got out of prison. And he called me on it. And I said, what's up? He said, man, your man Chico done got locked up. The DEA done led into the helicopter out there, man. They done caught him with a bunch of cocaine. Now, you got to get this now, because I just got out of federal prison. I'm at the halfway house. I'm a resident at Greensboro halfway house in 2003. 2005 for 45 days. So when I get out the halfway house, I done basically stole a license plate out of the car, put it on my car, off a car, put it on my car, drove down there, and I done walked into a federal investigation because they being investigated. The DEA just didn't come and swoop in because they got an anonymous caller. They've been sitting back watching them, investigating them. So they saw you. Right. So I didn't know that till later. So he locked up. Not just that, I done gave Alvarez $66,000 the day before. He done got locked up. Dang, I paid him too fast. He done got locked up. I just gave him $66,000. He done got locked up. So you know where I'm at now, right? I'm back ground zero without a cocaine connection. But as I went to Alamance County, I did my own investigation, and not just Chico and Alvarez was locked up, but their wives was also locked up too, and somebody else. So now I'm at ground zero without a cocaine connection. So here we go. I gotta spread my wings. So I started, and I go off and I say, I went to the store one day and I see Alvarez's sister-in-law Delia. No. I went to their trailer. I drove to their trailer. I said, man, I gotta, because you gotta understand, I done got that little taste of money again coming home from prison. So after you get that taste, you hear me? I ain't make nothing but a couple of grand because I had to pay the other people to stand between me and the Mexicans. A lot of stuff you got to read my book is big because you're going to see the ins and outs of it. But as I go to the trailer park, I said, hey, Delia, what's up? She said, hi, primo. And I think she liked me. We used to flirt a lot, but I used my little broken Spanish on it. She said, hi, primo. And we flirt a lot. But then when I said, Delia, I need you to call somebody and get some CDs for me. That was the code word for cocaine. And so Delia, she said, okay, primo, I'll make some calls from you. But right then I seen her brother come out, and I said, what's up, little migo? He said, what up, primo? I said, listen, come here. I said, now look, this is what I need you to do. He was about 14. I said, I need you to call to Mexico, and I need you to tell them that Primo was home. And they know me. I ain't going to rob them. You know, I'm good with the family. No counterfeit, none of putting the police on them or nothing like that. And I said, I need you to call him. And he said, okay, I'll do it. And so when he called me back about a day later, and he said, man, I got some bad news, Primo. I definitely didn't want to hear that. But we met at a Mexican restaurant, and he said they didn't want to give him nothing but about 4 or 5 kilos because he was so young. And so I had to go to another connect. I heard somebody else was on that I knew. So I took it. I said, listen, I went and I hollered at my boy